No sound. We have sound? Come on, please. Tell me you can hear me. Oh, I can hear. All right. Hey, welcome back to the Raw and Unscripted Show with Christopher Rausch, your place where I help you overcome your self-created crap without the self-help fluffy bullshit. The Raw and Unscripted Show is now on air. We were just kind of messing with you. No, actually, God's honest truth, when I went into the studio, we have a studio. And so when I went into it, I came back out of it and it said something about my mic was muted and I clicked off of it and I couldn't see what it was. So I guess I just muted my mic. So anyways, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. Here on a Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Raw and Unscripted Show. We're on episode number 58. Like I was saying before, super excited because of where I started from and where I'm at today and where I intend on going with the show. But I just really appreciate all of you guys writing in with the show topics of what it is that you wanted to cover in this particular episode and future episodes. I really appreciate that. And one overwhelming situation that I could hear this particular episode, making sure I could hear myself, is a couple of things. People, I wanted to take a couple of different situations that you guys were dealing with and combine them into one show. So we're going to be talking about struggling. We're going to be talking about being at your wit's end, and we're going to be talking about confidence. Now, what's interesting is that okay, you can hear me good. So what's interesting is that when I was thinking about those specific topics, it kind of occurred to me while I was also going through my YouTube page and cleaning up a lot of videos and making nice playlists, is that I've talked a lot about a lot of these things before in my previous shows. And then it occurred to me that sometimes we need to hear things in different ways or different stories or different impacts or different times in our life for us to really get it. Plus, the way I talk about coaching and the way I talk about doing these shows is the fact that I'm planting seeds. And I've had people tell me that, like, I've been watching you, I've been listening to you, and all these little things start coming together. And then all of a sudden they have this aha moment based on everything I've said and done through my social media posts and everything else. So it really is about planting seeds. And sometimes you just become more receptive to the pain in your life and it forces you to change. And then you hear something at that particular moment and it's that thing that's that leverage that gets you over the top. But again, I just wanted to acknowledge you guys and thank you guys. The raw truth here for a second. The company I used to work for, I found out yesterday, laid off quite a few people. And thankfully, or I'm blessed, I guess, a few of them reached out to me. And it was a very emotional experience in trying to help people directly who just lost their job, who have COVID going on and things of that nature, and people I know personally. So I understand what's going on out there. Again, I left my corporate job back in November. So, I'm in there, I'm figuring it out. I'm dropping in, I'm doing these coaching calls. I'm doing the free coaching calls, doing everything that I can do to hustle to earn my income so I don't have to go back and get a day job. That's one of my big whys. And that's the pain point that I've experienced, in the fact that once you hear something and once you do something, you have to feel it. And hearing those conversations today and yesterday really make me feel a lot of the emotional energy that's going on in the world today. I also just saw a post from my friend Angel. I'm not sure if Angel's on here yet. She posted from a fellow FedEx driver who was a black guy who had just gotten, according to the video, he had just been almost hit and spit on and called an N-word while he was driving his route. And so that emotional energy is right there. So I apologize if I'm not totally on tonight, but I really want to bring you as much value as I can, as much heart as I can, to help you guys, because I know a lot of you guys are struggling and I really appreciate you reaching out. One of the things that I also wanted to share with you is that this podcast is brought to you by the Speaking to the Heart podcast network. And recently we've been undergoing some additional changes and restructuring. And there's something that I want to read to you, which is actually our mission statement. And it's something I don't often mention as far as being on the Speaking to the Heart podcast network, but it's something we're revamping and we're making more of a priority to make sure we get out to you, because it's all about, serving you. And essentially this is the mission statement for the network. We are an interactive resource that helps our audiences rise above life's toughest challenges, mind, body, and spirit, using health awareness and personal development to entertain, educate, and empower all in one spot. So that's what the Speaking to the Heart podcast network is from. And you guys have seen Shane has been on here before. My brother from another mother, Scott Goyette, who's on our Friday night live show with me, my co-host, he has a show on the Speaking to the Heart podcast network. So we encourage you to go check it out, speakingtotheheart.org. You can go check it out and see some amazing shows there also. But just wanted to sit there and throw that out and say thank you. And again, speaking of the Friday night lives, love you guys for being there. We've been tackling some pretty tough issues recently with Black Lives Matter and interviewing some amazing gentlemen who have shared amazing perspectives from their perspective of being Black and being in the community and facing racism and facing injustice and things of that nature. So if you haven't had a chance to go check those out or hear those, they are on the YouTube page. Just go to my YouTube page, youtube.com/the Christopher Rausch. There's a playlist right there. You can check them out. They're amazing stories, and you will become informed from listening to those. But getting on with tonight's show and really talking about the fact that, we're struggling. People are struggling with hope. They're struggling with their sanity. They're struggling with, financial situations. They're struggling with relationship situations. And tying into that second part, being at wit's end, for me, it's about perspective. You guys have heard me talk about perspective over and over again. And, you have to really think about that. What you're going through is preparing you for the next level in life. And I know that is for a lot of us, we're like, okay, I've already made it to the next level. I've already been through enough shit in my life. But the truth of the matter is that we keep going through these tests. We keep going through these challenges. And that's what really we're here for. I truly believe that as souls having a human existence, we are here to go through specific situations that are going to cause our soul to grow, cause us to grow. And as we come back in different lifetimes or whatever it might be, we continue to expand and learn from our experiences and from our quote unquote mistakes. So if you're going through something and you're struggling, I encourage you, as hard as it is, to try to see what it is that you're supposed to learn. Try to see if there's a pattern of something that you've been doing over and over again that got you in the situation where you're struggling, because I could pretty much attest to the fact that if you're in a situation where you're struggling, it might be part of some of the decisions that you've made prior to the situation you're struggling in. For example, I've had quite a few people reach out to me, and just in general conversation, they realize now that they should have had 3 months savings in the bank. They're like, oh, I should have done this. I should have done that. I should have done that. And now they're struggling. So they're going through that struggle to be able to teach their kids. A couple of people said, you know what? The only way I can look at this is that I'm supposed to be going through this because I'm going to teach my kids how to invest early. I'm going to teach my kids about stocks. I'm going to teach my kids about, having a budget and things of that nature. So when you think about the struggle, although the struggle is horrible and it's depressing and, you just don't know what you're going to do, I really strongly encourage you to think about from a standpoint, maybe outside looking in, what am I supposed to get from this? What am I supposed to learn from this? And how am I going to use this later in my life as leverage, right? So for me, the part for me, like I said before, is making sure that my coaching and my speaking and everything that I want to do in this world is successful. So I have skin in the game. So when I struggle with things, that means I just have to work that much harder. I have to learn that much more. I have to connect that much more to end that struggle, because that struggle's there signaling something to me that, Chris, you're there. You just need to inch your way a little bit further to get through the finish line, right? So I really encourage you guys to think about how you look at the struggle. And also another aspect of that is, I've heard it said lots and lots of times, if you get a group of 20 people together and you all throw your problems in a pile, chances are you are going to go back and pick up your own problems, because you're going to see that other people have way deeper problems than yourself. So while your situation may be very, very tragic for you, it may not be nearly as tragic as for somebody else. And so when you put yourself in that perspective and you think about, well, at least I have a roof over my head. At least my car runs. At least I have food on the table. Yes, I just got laid off my job. Yes, I don't know what I'm going to do in 2 months. Yes, my husband's sick. But when you put it in perspective of what everybody else might be going through, then at least at that moment, you can kind of at least breathe. And I'll give you an example of that. I've been in a lot of pain again lately. And that's one of the reasons why I'm kind of like just tired, is that right side pain is back. And when one time before I had back surgery, I was walking and I just learned about a friend of mine that had an accident. He tripped and fell over his daughter's wood table. A part of the wood severed his spinal cord, and he was paralyzed from the neck down. And, I was bitching about my pain and I was frustrated with my pain. I'm like, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. I don't want to have surgery. I'm not like this. I've never been broken, and pissed off and bitter and just really just angry. And I did that for a while. And then I remember Mike, and I remember talking to my friend Tammy and hearing her voice as she's saying, he's struggling to move his fingers, and I thought, would Mike want my pain right now? Would Mike want my pain? I'm sitting here bitching about it. Blah, 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 blah. Would Mike want my pain? Yes, he would, because he would be able to feel his legs. So that immediately changed my perspective about what I have. You sit there and we look at what we don't have. And that's one of the things I want to focus on, is what you're focusing on. If you're struggling, Who are you talking to? Are you talking to people who are struggling too? Or are you talking to people who have answers? Are you reaching out to therapists? Are you reaching out to counselors? Are you reaching out to people who might have answers? Are you doing the self-development and seeking out those answers on your own? Or are you eating yourself into a frenzy? Are you watching Netflix, hoping, wishing, and praying that it's going to change? You know, you have to take responsibility for where you're at in life, because, you know, you have something to do with that. You know, this is the Raw and Unscripted show. So I'm going to be real with you. Some of the situations that you have are some of your responsibilities, if not all, because we all make choices that land us in this particular situation. Yet we want to blame. We want to blame. I just got laid off from my job. Okay, great. That's one thing that can happen to anybody at any particular time. How much savings did you have? You know, what did you do? How much credit do you have? You know, what you have a car that's $40,000 instead of a car that's $20,000. Come on. You know, you're not making wise choices. You're trying to look good when you really don't have that money. So you're overinflating yourself to be liked by people who really don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? So you have to take responsibility for that. And that's challenging, right? You know, we don't want to admit our weaknesses or our failures, but at the same time, they're not weaknesses. They're not failures. They're learning opportunities. That's the way I look at them. That's why I get my coaching clients to look at them. They're learning opportunities. What am I supposed to gain out of this? You shift your perspective, and immediately the opportunities for how to fix what it is that you're in multiply. But if you sit there and you're focusing on what you don't have, if you're focusing on what might happen in the world, if you're focusing to, you know, bullshit news on the TV, or if you're focusing on the negative posts on social media, if you're not being active in the solution, then you're part of the problem, right? So if you're struggling, you have to ask yourself, what are you going to do? What person do you need to become to get yourself out of the situation? You get a one-day pity party in the Kickass world. In the unstoppable world, you get a one-day pity party. You get to stomp your feet. You get to be mad. You get to blame everybody, eat bonbons, whatever. But you get up the next day, you say your gratitude list, and you say what your intentions are. So you're grateful for, hey, all these things. You don't wake up and go, oh, fuck, it's going to be another shitty day. You wake up and you go, wow, I'm grateful for these 20 things. And if you can't find 20 things to be grateful for, call me. I'll figure it out with you. Trust me. I've gotten people up to 100 things that they're thankful for. Like, wow, I didn't realize there was so much to be thankful for. I'm like, no shit, Sherlock, fucking bees. You like bees? No, I don't care about bees. Really? Think about it. Think about bees. Think about what they do to the ecology. Think about what they do for our livelihood. Yeah, you're thankful for bees, aren't you? Oh, yeah, I am. You thankful for satellites? Never thought about it. Yeah, guess what satellites do? You start thinking about all the shit that we have. You like your microwave? Fuck, I forgot about that. Yeah, I used to have to make things in a toaster oven. Okay, then. And by the way, thank you guys all for being here. I'll check the comments here in a second. I'm trying not to lose my train of thought, because that's one of my situations that I have to deal with, is the fact that when I'm doing Raw and Unscripted, is that it's just coming out raw from my heart. And so I have to make sure I try to stay on point. But back to point, what are you focusing on? What are you doing? What are you allowing to happen? What are you tolerating? You know, I was just listening to a book, Kevin Hart's new book. I think it's called Decisions. It's on Audible. It's fucking fantastic. I almost don't want to write a book now, because he literally wrote the book that I wanted to write in a roundabout way. But it's just straightforward. And he talks about, what are you tolerating? He says you got to tolerate some stuff, of course. But really, when I talk to people, I'm like, what are you putting up with? And I find out they're putting up with 18 things. I'm like, you're putting up with 18 things right now. Just imagine what that weighing on your brain, weighing on your psyche. You know, when you get to the point of being, you know, at wit's end, that's when you're in the spiral. That's when you're thinking, you know, illogically. That's when you're thinking about, you know, things from an emotional standpoint, instead of, you know, sitting down with pen and paper and saying, okay, what's the real root of the problem? What is it that we have to solve for? And how are we going to do it? What are going to be the potential obstacles? And what person do I need to become in order to achieve it? Nobody's going to come save you. Nobody's going to come save me. We have to figure that out. That's why I go unstoppable. That's why I talk about that, because when you have to get the grit, you have to get the blood, sweat, and tears. You have to go to sleep later. You have to get up earlier. And most importantly, things I've been talking to with people, it surprises the shit out of me. A lot of people aren't taking care of themselves. Surprise. I just saw somebody's post. They're like, I've gained 40 pounds since COVID started. I was like, what the fuck? Really? You gained 40 pounds while COVID started, when this could be the most amazing time for you to lose weight and get exercise. Now she's freaking out about how she's going to do everything. And I'm like, you feel like shit, don't you? Yeah. I'm like, well, you did not set yourself up for success once the COVID was going to be ending. So now you have to take responsibility for that. Now you have to bust your ass even harder. You know, if you're not taking care of yourself, boys and girls, that is like number one. Number one. How much water are you drinking? I know that sounds crazy. You guys have heard me say it a lot of times. You guys see me on these things. This is 32 ounces. I think 4 of these creates a gallon, like 32 ounces creates a gallon. I drink like 8 of these a day. You know, I'm constantly drinking water. You know, you got to make sure you're hydrating. You got to make sure you're getting good enough sleep, you know, and that involves not drinking alcohol. If you don't drink alcohol, guess what? Your sleep quality improves drastically. Trust me, I have an Aura ring. It's actually a sleep tracker on my finger. And when I was drinking, I'm not drinking this month. When I was drinking, my sleep scores were shitty. They're like 58, 60, 70. Stop drinking. Don't eat sweets at night. My sleep scores are going up to 90, 95. So while I've got a lot of emotional weight on myself right now, my body is in really good shape. My sleep is in really good shape. My hydration is really good shape. So my clarity is really good. It's just that there's emotional stuff that's weighing me down. So again, and then the diet, I'm not eating sugar. I'm not eating white flour. I'm eating, meats and vegetables and a little bit of, bread here and there. I'm not totally depriving myself. But again, if you're not taking care of yourself, how do you expect to make good decisions? If you're not getting out and walking for 30 minutes a day, how are you making good decisions? You're not getting oxygen in your body. You're not getting that carbon monoxide out of your lungs. That's at the bottom. When you exhale, you have to really exhale. I talk about breathing a lot. These things all add up to what it is that's going to make you either, tackle the situations you're in, like, okay, well, let's give it a shot, or let's go, let's fucking do it. It really does matter how you talk to yourself. It does. The words that you use, if you say, I'll probably never figure this out, or I've never been good with money, or, this sucks, this happens every time something goes good, whatever you're saying to yourself is going to become true. Let me say that again. Whatever you are saying to yourself, either out loud or in your head, will come true. That's the way this life works. It's called manifestation. When you sit there, like every day I get up and I say my intentions, I intend on doing this. I intend on being present and playful with my son. I intend on serving my community and making a difference in the world today. I intend on being healthy, mindful, and spiritual. I intend on being a good husband and a good father. I intend. And guess what? Not every day is perfect, but pretty damn close. Those are my needle movers. Those are the things that I need to do in order to get and remain unstoppable. So I can sit in front of this camera and sit in front of this microphone day after day, week after week, show after show, bringing you something that you need to hear. And somehow I can say it in such a way that it's going to click for you. I could talk about a lot of different things in a lot of different ways. And that's what my point is here, because you hear me saying a lot of the same things. And those are those seeds that are planting. And sometime I may just say it and it just clicks for you. But what you really have to do is you have to focus on what you're saying to yourself. If you say, oh, I can't do that, you're really saying I won't. You have to figure it out. You have to get resourceful. You have to ask your family, ask your friends, ask for help, go on the Nextdoor app, figure out what you have to do, swallow your pride, shovel your integrity down the toilet, whatever it might be, figure out what you have to do, get back to some, normal sense, or, get some normality, and then figure out what you're going to do to fix it so you don't do it again. So you don't have those things happen again. It's really super, super important. There's a book called What Not to Say When You Talk to Yourself. It's an amazing book. What Not to Say When You Talk to Yourself. Phenomenal. The words we use, the language, the energy that we use. If you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, today's going to be a fuck day. I need my coffee. Geez, wonder what's going to happen next. You see what I'm saying? That stuff happens because then I wonder what happens next. Then you pick up this fucked up device and you hold it up, or you usually stoop down and you have your neck all crooked forward. Watch people with their phones. They're like, they're going to be all fucked up later on in life. They're like, why does my neck hurt? Because you've been staring at your fucking phone too long. Then you sit there and you look at MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, whatever, political, blah, blah, blah. You sit there and go, see, and you're swiping. You're like, oh, there's some more bullshit. There's some more bullshit. Oh, I didn't know about that bullshit. Here, let me share that out to 75 people so they see that bullshit. Oh, God, I feel good. Now I made other people miserable. What can I do now? Oh, let me be frustrated and aggravated at shit that I'm not taking care of myself. Oh, let me go watch Netflix. Oh, let me go shopping and spend money I don't have. Let me, whatever it might be, whatever it might be for you, let me take a look. Let me take a look here in the comments. Thank you guys for being here. Sorry about the technical difficulties in the beginning. So Glenda says, hello, it's Glenda from Georgia. You can talk about and say my name and where I'm from. Hello, Glenda. Glenda Wright is from Georgia. Thank you for being here, Glenda. Let's see. We got Cindy here. We got Tina. What's up, Tina? Little Cindy Lou. Who? How true, Trisha. What's up? Let's see. Glenda, have you talked to Christopher? He'll help privately. Yeah, definitely. Hit me up. I mean, I can sit there and I think I can put the let's see if I can do this. www.lnb.com Christopher. That worked. What's up, Chad Pape? Hey, amigo. Hey, Chad's doing no sugar this month. He's got a group going on Facebook. Chad, put the group name in there if you want people to get in there. I've been kind of doing it. He knows how I am. I'm flaky, but yeah, I know. Fuck the news, right? Yeah, seriously. Let's just be the change we want to see instead of the shit that we don't. Because half of it's fake anyway. But anyways, what was I going to say? Yeah, no, check out Chad. He's doing that. I mean, he's taking responsibility for his health and, dialing it in because he knows he needs to produce more and make more. So he knows what he needs to do in the times that he needs to do it. The same thing with me. And Angel says right here, yeah, discipline. And by the way, Angel, I don't know if you heard it or not. Earlier, I was talking about the video that you posted from your fellow FedEx driver. So thank you for posting that. Very emotional. That was kind of what I watched before I started this show. So it was kind of took my energy down, but just reinforces the fact that we have to help the Black lives. So sorry about that little side thing, but yeah. What's up, Leanne? Yes, from Texas. Leanne, she's awesome. You got to check her out. Glenda had a question. Did I miss the question? Oh, what's up? Mark Gassert, preach, brother. Chris, preach. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate it. Check out Mark Gassert. He's sales. He does sales. Can't remember the exact name of it, but Mark does sales. He does daily live shows on that. Check it out because everybody's in sales, whether you're selling something or selling yourself. Absolutely. Cindy says, absolutely. Just breathe. Take those exercises you did on Tony. Get up and grow. Yep. Doing those. Where is Glenda? Is there a question? Glenda, do you have a question? I'm doing the 3-hour day. Yeah. I don't see any questions. What's up? Yeah, so I just want to make sure there wasn't any questions, but again, so thinking about it and overall what I teach. What's up, Scott? Hey, brother, you missed the plugs I was doing earlier. Oh, actually, I got to talk about our group coaching. Forgot about that, but I'm going to do that at the end. Really it comes down to confidence. Everybody I've talked to in the last couple of months, everybody I talked to yesterday from the people that got laid off from the company I used to work for, somehow, some way your confidence gets hit. You take a chink to your armor and you're just like, oh God, am I going to recover from this? But the absolute truth is in building confidence, you have to do a couple of things. You have to first decide. You have to decide what it is that you're going to go for. Most people don't have that specified in their life. When I ask them, like, what are you going for? Well, I'm going for this and I'm going for that. It's very vague. I'm like, why can't you measure it? Why isn't it on a piece of paper? God's honest truth. I'm actually redoing mine. I on the dry erase board in front of me, I have 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. That's something that I would do with a coaching client that is like looking for a long-term plan. You sit there and you go through it. You break it down. What's your 3-month goal? What's your 6-month goal? But you do it backwards. What you do is you figure out what your legacy is and you work backwards. Like, where do I need to be 10 years before I want this? Where do I need to be 3 years before that? Where do I need to be 18 months for you build backwards and you figure out where it is that you're going. Most people don't know where they're going because they haven't decided. They haven't done the second part, which is commit. So you need to decide what it is that you're going to do and make a plan for it. Figure out what it is that you want to do, why you want to do it. What are you going to need to do it? What are potential roadblocks and what are tools that you're going to have, right? And you figure that out and you set out measurables and you set out little small milestones and you say, okay, once I get to this part, I get a reward or whatever it is, but you have to know where you're going. You have to figure out, do I want to live a long life? People, like, when I ask them that question, I'm like, do you want to live a long life? They're like, hell yeah. And I look at them like, really? Your actions don't say it. I'm just going to be honest. When you want to live life, you're full of shit, right? That's why Shane calls me the enforcer from the Speaking of the Heart podcast network. He goes, you're my enforcer. But it's the truth. Do you want to live life? You want to live a long life, long, healthy life? Do you not want to stay? Do you not want to go to a hospital? Yeah, I never want to go in the hospital. I'm like, really? What's your blood sugar right now? You heading for type 2 diabetes? You want to go for type 1? Do you want glaucoma? Do you want your toes to be amputated? What you looking for? Just that, just like, holy shit, you're right. Because we sit there and we play the someday game. Oh, it's not going to happen to me. I'm not going to have heart disease. I'm not going to have any of these things. I'm not going to have a stroke. I'm not going to have an aneurysm, whatever it might be. But bullshit, guess what? Life happens and you sit there and you're in the hospital and you go, wow, all I had to do was take care of myself and, be focused on my life and do good things in the world, eat healthy, do a little exercise, and I could live to be 90. Potentially with technology and everything else, you could live to be 140. I don't know if we'll be around then, but that's another question. You have to really, decide what it is that you want to do. And then you have to commit. And I've seen lots of people decide what they want to do. I want to become an entrepreneur. I want to become a family man. I want to become the director. I want to become the president. I want to become this. I want to become that. And they have their why. Their why is usually a little distorted, but then they go into the commitment stage. Like, I tried it for 3 months. I tried it for 6 months. I did it for a year. Well, maybe you need to do it for 3 years. Maybe you need to do it for 5 years. Time is going to pass by us anyway. So if you're really going to decide to do something, then you have to commit and you can't give up. That's one of the reasons why I did 75 hard last year. That was hard, but I made the commitment to do it and I did not cheat. I did it. I made that commitment. It's amazing what happens to your physiology and your body when you make a serious fucking commitment and you do it. There's nothing that I know I can't do. I mean, I quit taking pain pills, 6 weeks ago, something like that. I don't remember what it was. Quit drinking this month. Haven't had a cigarette in fucking how many years. So I just know that I can do anything I put my mind to. So you have to have that commitment. You have to say, okay, listen, if I want to live a long, healthy life, then I have to make a commitment not to smoke cigarettes anymore. I have to make a commitment not to drink this much alcohol anymore. I have to make this commitment not to have this much sugar anymore, which, by the way, you shouldn't have much sugar because that's what cancer really feeds on. And that's what I keep telling myself. So you have to commit. If you want to get a different job, if you want to make more money, you have to make that commitment. How many jobs are you going to do? How many people are you going to get involved in your family to make that happen? How are you going to be resourceful? How are you going to go above and beyond everything that you've done before to get those results? You have to commit. You have to commit. You have to wake up every single fucking day and say what you're grateful for, say what your intentions are. My intentions today is to grow my coaching clients. My intention today is to do this, and then go after it and don't give up until you get there. And find the right people in your life that are going to support you, because that's massively important. Because right now people are looking for misery loves company kind of thing. Oh, you believe like I do? Here, let's join up and let's just trade all this shit that's going on instead of being a part of the solution. That's the thing I love about what Scott and I are doing on our Friday Night Lives is we're addressing the situation head on. We don't even know half the shit we're talking about. We're just asking the questions and like saying, hey, what's going on? And we're listening and we're growing, so you have to have that. You have to have that commitment that you're going to have the impact in your life that you want. And that starts with your legacy. It starts with writing your eulogy. It starts with, what do you want to be remembered for? If you're 60, 70, 80, 30, 20, whatever age you are, write your eulogy, figure out what it is, decide that you're going to do it, commit to you're going to do it, and then take the fucking step. Take the biggest step you can do immediately as fast as you can. As fast as you can. Make that jump. You guys have heard me talk about Steve Harvey, the video Jump. Go watch it. It's less than 2 minutes. Seriously. You have to jump. You have to take action. You have to just sit there and say, I'm pulling the cord. I'm going for it. Life is short. I don't want to live with any regrets. I'm going for it. I'm going to free fall. I'm going to get banged up. It's going to be tiring. It's going to be exhausting. I'm going to cry. But it's going to be thrilling. It's going to be living instead of existing. That's one thing I figured out from talking to a lot of people is a lot of people are existing instead of living, and they're punishing themselves for shit that happened way in their past. I just did a walk and talk video this week about that. Where are you focusing? Again, what I started the show off with, where are you focusing on? My brother Scott says, head first into it, whether it's scary or not, love over fear. Yes. That's what Scott and I are talking about in our group coaching program. Again, exactly that is going into love and figuring out the fear and, creating a magnificent life when you have those two in your situation. So thank you for saying that, Scott, because the dash in between when we're born and when we die, that's life. And that's all our choice. That is all our choice. I've talked to CEOs who were miserable at their jobs, and I'm like, you're making the choice to go there. You're making yourself miserable. And they're like, no. I have 2 kids in college and I have a wife with a spending habit and I have this and that. And I'm like, no, but you're okay. So you're choosing not to deal with that stuff and you're choosing to come here and be miserable. Shut up. If you're miserable, figure it out what you want to do and change it. Life is short. You're going to get to a point and you're going to be like, wow, I work so hard doing things for everybody else and foregoing my dreams and foregoing this and sacrificing this. And then you're going to be like, I want a do-over, but you're not going to get a do-over. All you have is time until you die to think about the things that you didn't do. That's why I come to you. That's why for me, you see my tags, no regrets, no regrets, no regrets. You have to go towards those because for me, I'm seeing it as like levels, right? You make a decision to do something and you kind of crack that level. And then you start doing that stuff and you start going, okay, this is really cool. This is really cool. Okay. Your energy starts going up. You start meeting more people and you start getting introduced to more people and you go up another level. And you're like, okay, fuck, cool. This is neat. This is kind of scary. I'm getting up there. I'm kind of flying a little bit. And then you go, okay, let's go for the next level. And you push and you stride and you figure it out and you get to the next level. And you're like, oh my God, I feel like okay. This is scary. I don't want to lose this. And you just keep going and you just keep learning and you keep growing and you figure it out. but having the right people around you is massively important. Having an accountability partner, having a coach. I mean, I can't stress that enough. I know I'm a coach, but when you have coaches in your life and accountability partners in your life and people that will tell you the truth, there's nothing you can't do if you focus and you commit and you do those things and you never stop and you stay resourceful, you stay playful, you stay adventurous, you get away from the negativity and the people that are trying to hold you down. And especially you get away from the way you talk to yourself and the things you focus on. Stop focusing on shit that happened, change your perspective about it, talk to somebody about it and start moving forward, because that's the only direction that you get to go in this life. And if you want to waste your time blaming and looking at all that other stuff, please don't drag other people around with you. And please don't set that example for your children. What we're trying to do in this world right now is leave this world a better place for who we are and what we do, and leave that for our kids to make a magnificent recovery and really make the world what it's supposed to be, a beautiful place full of beautiful people doing great things and living their lives and not being, jeopardized by fear and uncertainty and politics and greed and all this other bullshit that's going on and God for, religion even. We got to leave this world a better place. So that means we all have to pony up, put our big boy pants, big girl pants on, and figure out what we're going to do to get out of our own fucking way. And then, lend to the cause of making the world a better place and stop the divisiveness and stop the rhetoric and stop that's this and that's this. We have an important issue in our life right now. And the fact that we're waking up and we need to be involved and active. And that means that you have to be involved and active in your own life and take responsibility for that and set the example, especially if you have kids. Especially if you have friends that maybe not as strong as you. You start stepping up. I've seen this happen. I've coached people and they said, oh, my friends are like, oh my God, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm starting to believe in myself. I'm starting to get coaching. I'm starting to address my fears. I'm starting to step into shit that I don't want to step into. And they start growing. They're like, oh my God, like light bulbs go on. It's truly amazing. Fear, Chad says, fear causing hesitation. Hesitation causes your worst fears to become a reality. Yeah. You know what? I just heard this story, and I can't remember what. I'm not big into sports, but this story, I guess it's one of the major errors in baseball history. And apparently, I can't remember. Bill Buckner apparently was being interviewed before a World Series, and he said on air, he goes, "One of my worst fears is that it'll be bases loaded, ninth inning, blah blah blah, and somebody will hit a line drive and it'll go right between my legs." And that is exactly what happened. And that gives me chills, because he literally wrote himself into losing one of the biggest games and making one of the major errors in baseball history, apparently, because he told himself, I'm afraid of that. You got to see again what you're looking for. I'm afraid of this. I don't know what's going to happen with this. Okay, what can you do? What can you do in the moment? What can you change? I'm not even gonna get into moments because you guys heard me talk all about that, but yeah. Like Mike says, positive self-talk equals positive daily outcomes. Yeah. And it's not always perfect. I mean, I'm sure Mike would agree with that. It's not always perfect, but God, it is so much better than waking up and going, oh God, it's miserable and oh, my body aches and it's not like it was before. And why do those people so happy? We compare ourselves to other people. We get ourselves down. It's crazy. Dario, hey man, do you know Jose La Rosa, known as, nope, I don't know that. Sorry. I don't know who that is. Yeah, make that dash. Yeah, what's up, Mike? Make that dash. Fire. Exactly. Yeah, Leanne says you got to get out of your own head. Yeah. I mean, seriously, if you have people you may not have the belief in yourself, but if other people around you have the belief in you, sometimes you have to live on their belief. I had to do that with my coach last year. She's like, fuck Chris, you're amazing. You should, And I'm like, I had to trust her opinion of me more than I had to trust myself at that particular moment in time. And so I lived off that. And then I believed it because I had already conditioned myself to think differently. So I had to work through that myself. And that's why I get to help you guys. Yeah. Mike says often the way we talk to ourselves is far worse than how we would let anyone else talk to us. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, it's crazy. Scott says, if you think you're a winner or a loser, you're right. Yeah. I mean, one of my favorite quotes in the world, and then I'll let you guys go here in just a few seconds, is Henry Ford. If you think you can, or you think you can't, you're right. And I was just interviewed on a podcast last week, and they had asked me what were some words of advice that got me from being the homeless 7th grade dropout and all that other crap to where I'm at today. And I said, my mentor, Bill White, had said to me, Christopher, you're only limited by the parameters of your own mind. He said, Christopher, you're only limited by the parameters of your own mind. You guys might have heard me say that as my quote because their family actually told me after he passed away to use that quote with my name on it. And I was honored to do that. But yeah, again, You're only limited by the parameters of your own mind. If you think you can't, and you haven't been able to, and you haven't been around the right people, you just need to change your circumstances. You need to change your opinion of yourself. You need to get around different people. You need to get fired up. You have to have that unstoppable attitude. I mean, go look at David Goggins. Go look at Jesse Itzler. Go look at James the Iron Man Cowboy for just some inspiration of people that are fucking belligerent about being unstoppable. I'm not that like that. But again, when you make that choice and you make that decision and you decide that you're never going to stop and you're going to commit, it's amazing what you can accomplish. I'm living proof of that. I'm living proof of that. Let's see. Rick says, when you come to a fork in the road, take it. Yeah, exactly. It just depends. You just got to go for it. In the book, The Untethered Soul, you guys heard me talk about it a lot from Michael Singer, and they call him Mickey. He talks about if an opportunity shows up at your door, you go and explore it. You go figure it out. You step into that uncomfortable zone. You may not want to go do that, but maybe that's going to lead to the other thing. That's going to lead to the other thing. That's going to wind up being the thing that you really wanted the most. It's crazy how this world unfolds for us. It's really freaky. You trust, and all of a sudden you put that intention out there, and something happens. I'm not even making that up. It's crazy, I know. But it's just amazing. Rick says, reinvent yourself. Yeah. I've reinvented myself so many times. I mean, I could show you guys, they're under a laminate right now, but I could show you all the different business cards I have created over my career as a coach and a speaker. It's funny. It's like, okay, I was a suit and tie guy. Okay. Then I was I wore my tie and my vest and, my dress up clothes. And now I'm this. Now I'm the Kickass guy. Now I'm just being who I am, just being who I am, helping you guys, helping myself, trying to make the world a better place. That's what we're all here for, is to make the world a better place. I truly believe that. And once we get started and we get rowing in the right direction and we start making things happen, then more opportunities are going to happen, more fulfilled lives, more happy hearts, less stress, less anger, less hostility. We can all be a part of that change. We can all make that happen. You got to be uncomfortable to oops, I froze for a second. I froze. Yeah, I freeze every once in a while. I didn't freeze that time, but yeah, getting uncomfortable, being comfortable. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. It really is. So I'm going to leave you guys with this. Be sure to check into our Friday night shows, Friday night, 5:00 Pacific Standard Time. We pronounce it over here on Facebook and also on YouTube. Friday night, we're going to have another amazing guest talking about Black Lives Matter and perspectives. So check that out. Also hit us up. Myself and Scott have just started initiating a group coaching program that we're doing that we said before. So if you want information on that, I've got a video on my YouTube page called What is Love? So you can check that out. It's about a 25-minute presentation of what we do about the program. And pretty soon we're going to be doing a free webinar talking about the first 2 tips of both the love model and the fear model. So you guys are going to want to check that out to get a taste of what it is that we're going to be doing, because it's really a magnificent situation. We're taking Scott's program that's already been proven time and time again, and combining it with my coaching that I've proven time and time again. So you're getting 2 different coaches, 2 different programs in the same time, but it's all going to flow together to make you unstoppable and really kick your ass into major success. Sorry, my brain was thinking of 2 different things at one time. Vercel Wells. Vercel Wells is going to be on our show on Friday. So check that out. And yes, you're welcome. Thank you for being here, Rick. I really appreciate it. Let's talk offline. And just check those things out. What was the other thing I was going to say? I don't know. Got a lot of shit on my mind. But anyways, I hope you guys find value out of this. Please, if you haven't already, go to my YouTube page. I'm really working on that. I cleaned up some playlists today. I found out I had probably about 20 videos that were listed as private that were never posted. So if you guys like the walk and talks, go check that out. I've got a bunch on there that I didn't even realize that were never published. So I would love for you to do that. It's youtube.com/the Christopher Rausch. Be sure to check out the Friday Night Live playlist. Be sure to check out the Raw Unscripted playlist. And of course, the walk and talk videos, which you guys seem to dig a lot. There's different variations of that. But at any rate, I really appreciate that. It'll help me out a lot. Again, guys, be careful what you say to yourself. Be careful what you do with yourself. And be careful what you put out in the world, because it does come back to you. If you truly want to be unstoppable, you truly want to have that confidence, you have to break out of the zone that you're in and become the person that you're supposed to be. Act as if, if you want to be rich and famous, figure it out and start acting as if and making those decisions that are going to get you there. That's what this show's about, changing your perspectives about your past, present, and your future. I love you guys. Again, this is brought to you by the Speaking to the Heart Podcast Network. Again, like I said in the beginning, go check us out over there. We're changing everything around, and it's a great resource for you guys. Until next time, I love you. Peace out. And thank you guys so much for being here. I really, truly appreciate it. I love each and every one of you. And we'll be back again next week and bringing you some more information. Cheers and peace out.